The newest line of Arcade1Up Countercades has hit home. Here's one right here. But how does it stack up to the models that came before it? We're going to find out next on the Emceemur Show. So here's this thing, the Miss Pac Man Countercade, and not just any Miss Pac Man Countercade. This is the QVC exclusive Miss Pac Man Countercade. How is it different? Well, we have this luscious pink trim here as opposed to the yellow trim on the other model. Not that there's anything wrong with the yellow, but this was a little different. But that's not the only way in which it's different, and that's kind of what we have to analyze, kind of what we have to evaluate here. This has half the games that the other unit does. Now, I got a special price on this. It was $116 even from QVC. And how did I even know about this? I'll tell you how. Not because Arcade1Up told me, because a member of Mur Nation, a commenter, that's right, somebody that frequents the channel, popped in and was like, Mur, did you know this is going on? You got to take a look at this. Well, he's right. I did need to take a look at it. We're taking a look at it. And he raised the question, is this also shenanigans? This only has 2 games compared to the 4 games on the other model. Yeah, it's a little bit less in the price, but it's not half the price. I mean, let's get real here. This has Miss Pac Man and Super Pac Man on it, I believe. The other one has got Miss Pac Man, and then you've got Galaga Dig Dug 2, and you've got Pac Man Plus. So a total of 4 games there. I'm not here to complain about that, okay? And that's my opinion, because I'm here for Miss Pac Man. That's what I'm here for. I'm fine that this only has 2 games on it. But again, we got to talk about how that was advertised. We get all this information secondhand. And the minute you're told, hey, there's a special deal on QVC, oh my God, I got to go get it. The first thing on that page was not, now this only has half the games, but it's this price. No, it's that it's an exclusive and it's this price. So you're thinking, no, it's a little bit different color and I'm getting a good deal and I'll get 4 games. No, you're not getting 4 games. If you'd seen the other model, you probably thought you were just getting it at a discount, and that's not it. So again, I knew going in what this was. I don't care, but just trying to look at it from a consumer standpoint, that might have been upsetting to a consumer in the same way that, they may have bought some of these cabinets and 5 minutes later they're over here on HSN with lighted marquees and all that for the same money. It's just all that. It's I don't want to call it anti-consumer, but it kind of is. It's misinformation, and it leads to regret or remorse on the other side. Like, oh, I could have gotten that. I don't know. Again, Miss Pac Man's what I'm here for, and if this thing works okay, I'll be happy with it. But I want to compare and contrast this model with the previous Countercade models. Now, we saw a little bit about what they were changing at last year's CES, and that wasn't enough for me. That wasn't a close enough look. Now we've got them in the Mur Cave. We can see them up close, and of course, the first noticeable major difference is the body size, and it is a noticeable difference. And the first thing that went through my mind when I was told they were downsizing was, what if you're the guy, again, the guy collecting all of these, and you got them, racked up on a shelf somewhere? Now they're going to look weird because you got big ones and little ones. So I don't know. I mean, make of that what you will, but I don't know why the size change was even necessary. Maybe it saves them some money. But they were already overpriced on these at $200. Making these $150 now, maybe their margin's the same on it, but if you ask me, $150 is still beyond what I want to pay for something like this. So, I don't know. That's kind of crazy. Now, the screen was also a fear. Are we changing the screen size? And, comparing them, I don't see any difference in them. It's the same screen. So at least that's cool. And honestly, if they were all the smaller size to begin with, I think I would be as fine with that as I was with the big size. I don't think it really matters either way. I mean, optimally, I guess you want these to take up as little space as possible if you intend to collect a bunch of them. But, it looks good. We also have to talk about the fact that there's a change in the power supply. Now, the earlier model actually had a power brick. A little bit more bounce to the ounce there, whereas this just has a little non-grounded plug-in. Looks like something use on one of the plug-and-play systems that we buy. So apparently this needs less juice. I mean, it's less amps, less volts, you know, and what have you. Don't know what that's going to mean to us just yet, if anything. We'll see once we fire this thing up. Another noticeable difference is now we have the little slider on the volume here instead of just a low and a high setting. So that's kind of cool. I do prefer that. I mean, it's a cute little unit, man. It's visually appealing. We have these great colors here is what's really appealing about it. And that iconic side art. So, I mean, it's got that going for it. We really just need to get it plugged up and see how it plays. Alright, so here we are, Miss Pac-Man, Super Pac-Man. We will look at both. Menu screen looks good. Again, we've got the little slider for the volume, so that's cool. I like the way that adjusts now. Let's jam, man. Sounding good, good output. Let's get it. Now we're looking for responsiveness here. Our ups and downs, our turns have got to be spot on. I am not the greatest Pac-Man player of all time. I did play more Miss Pac-Man in the arcades than I played Pac-Man. But I'm not the greatest Miss Pac-Man player in the world either. But I do love it. Get that deadgum cherry. So great. Alright, let's get a look at Super Pac-Man. Oh my. I mean, I've seen this, but I've not spent time on it. I'm just a pretty standard Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man version kind of guy. And with all the versions that there are out there, I don't ever remember seeing them in the arcades that I would hang out in. You always just saw Pac-Man or Miss Pac-Man. And usually it was Miss Pac-Man. That's what you always saw. I don't know if they just sold more of those by the numbers or what, but all the places I hung out, it was always Miss Pac-Man machines, and that's why I spent more time on that game in particular. Love my Pac-Man though. You don't turn your back on the Pac. Well, I mean, this is kind of cool. Again, I don't mind that this is on here, and it's whatever. I'm here for Miss Pac-Man. I'm still thinking about the other games that you could have gotten, you know, had it been the other model. I don't know. It doesn't bother me. It's just something to think about. No, that's pretty much dead nuts. It's hard to tell. There's so many different versions of these games floating around out there, and speed chips and what have you. I don't know. If I had an actual cabinet here, I could compare side by side, and I know where there is one. I could tell a little bit better, but honestly, just at a glance, this feels right. I can't time it down to the nanosecond or anything, but nothing feels wrong about it. Yeah, I gotta say that's as close to dead nuts as I can tell you that it is. I'm okay with that. I don't know, man. So like I always say, I know what I hate, and I don't hate this. I mean, it's kind of cool. I'm glad I got it. I'm glad we were able to take a look at it here. But what are your honest thoughts on this machine at a glance? And what are your thoughts on the two different models and all the weirdness surrounding the availability of said models? I don't know. And I gotta tell you, pulling the film off of this thing, the protective film, and don't get me wrong, I'm glad it's there. But oh my God, this time we really got into more than we thought we were going to get into. It did not come off the screen very evenly. It left a bunch at the top there that I could not get out. We actually got into a comical partial teardown of this thing just to get the rest of it off the dadgum screen. So again, that involved getting the drill out and loosening up some bolts and getting the screen pulled loose and seeing a lot more of this machine than I guess I really wanted to. But you know, in case you're into that sort of thing, well, you can get a look at that too. I definitely had no desire to pull this thing all apart though. Although it is interesting to see the inner workings of it. You got to wonder, could you add more games to something like this? I mean, you definitely have a specific button layout you'd have to stick with, so I don't know. That's something to think of. But you know, you see people modding the full-size 1-ups, and it's like, you know, what's the limit? You know, what can we do with these things? It just kind of makes you wonder. But anyway, kind of cool, kind of not cool in some instances. I don't know. Compared it against another arcade version as best I could. I mean, again, there's so many versions of Miss Pac Man out there that, you know, I don't even know what I'm looking at half the time. But from what I can tell, just on the timing, the ghosts going back off of, you know, a pack pellet, and you know, everything seemed to sync up just right. I can't get it down to a dadgum nanosecond, you know, like you super tech guys out there can do with all your little funny gadgets and whatnot. But come on, we can tell if it's if something's not right, and this seemed like it was okay, so it's close enough. I know that the Dig Dug synced right up with an arcade version. When we looked at it, we did have a version of that, so you know, again, I don't think we really have anything to worry about here. I think this is legit, but again, is it worth the money? Not really. It's just kind of a cool piece. I do think it looks nice, and I don't regret getting it. Again, it's nice to look at these things on the show. It's nice to have things like this to look at on the show, and I hope you liked what you saw here today. I hope you're going to leave me something in the comment section of this video letting me know what you think about what you saw here today, because you know that I love getting a conversation going with you right here on the Emceemur Show, something that we do a lot of. I hope that you liked this video and that you're going to drop a like on this video. And most importantly, if you have not already done so, I hope that you're going to subscribe to the Emceemur Show and be a part of Mer Nation, because we're rising up. If it wasn't for Mer Nation, you know, sometimes we don't find out about stuff like this. Be a part of Mer Nation. Everything we got going on right here on the show, you need to be a part of. Make sure that you smack that notification bell so you're always the first to know when new content goes live, because you know that I love making it for you each and every time. So much more fun stuff coming your way on the channel this year. Can't wait to share it all with you. Emceemur signing off for this fantabulous review, and I will see each and every one of you again next time.